Welcome to the Cardano Hotel podcast. To support the show, please delegate to Stakepool Hotel and Stakepool Alcool.
So hello, Ken. Nice to meet you again. Could you please introduce yourself to our viewers, and who is Ken Olling and what is your function?
Sure, no problem. Ken Olling, originally American. I am a bit of a sort of mixed bag. So my background is in design and communication for the first 25 years of my career. And then I moved into technology where I worked as an enterprise architect. And then for the past 6 years, I've been working in a combination between finance and technology. So I was in the crypto space in 2018 during the big sort of ICO hype for 5 minutes. Then got out, and then my son, actually, who was doing technical analysis last year, persuaded me back in, and we started talking about it and getting more and more back into it in early 2020. And now I'm sort of back in it full time.
Mm-hmm. And you are can we say that you are the CEO of MELD Labs?
Yes, I am the CEO and the co-founder. It was myself and Hai, who's the CTO.
Mm-hmm. So MELD has quickly become a household name in crypto over the last year. Some people may still not know what MELD is. So since the year is coming to a close, I thought it might be nice to do like a little roundup and see what you guys have been up to. So first of all, what is the mission of MELD, and what are the tools that you would use to complete your mission?
Sure. So MELD kind of started out as a lending and borrowing protocol. The ability to take your crypto, lock it up, and borrow either crypto or fiat against it. So it came about as a result of me seeing a lot of my friends investing in crypto, and they're taking all of their sort of salaries and putting it into crypto, not being able to do anything with it because they see the crypto going up and up. So they don't want to withdraw any of it. They don't want to sort of sell it. They want to keep it. So I wanted to create a way that you could, in a non-custodial manner, sort of following the sort of principles of DeFi, lock up your crypto and borrow fiat against that. So that's the sort of core.
Okay, just one question. How do you find non-custodial for people that don't understand the concept?
Yeah, so you have two ways you can handle crypto. You have custodial and non-custodial. It essentially means who owns or who is in control of the keys for your crypto. So who owns the actual access to the crypto? In an exchange like Binance, you're giving them the right to own the keys. So you're handing over your crypto and you have a contract or an account with them, which means that they'll give it back to you. Mm-hmm. In the case of us, we're non-custodial, meaning that in our wallet, you're able to keep your keys. We do not take control of any of your crypto. You always have control over it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I interrupted you there in describing what the mission is of MELD and the tools.
No. Yeah, so we have this lending and borrowing, but it's slowly but surely kind of evolved into more of a set of tools that made it possible for you to be your own bank. Mm-hmm. So for you to be able to have your own assets, be able to borrow against your own assets, be able to provide your assets to other people to be able to borrow against, and these kinds of mechanics. So that's the real kind of big picture, is not to be a bank, but to be a protocol, a DeFi protocol that allows you to be your own bank.
Right. So MELD suddenly sort of burst onto the scene in, I think it was July of 2021.
Right.
When you launched what was called, I think by then might have been the very first ISPO, right? The instant stakeable offering. So correct. What was the concept of that, of your particular ISPO, and then how did it go?
So yeah, excuse me. Timing wise, this is great because we just closed our ISPO. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we launched the ISPO on July 1st, and the concept behind it was basically how could we create a more fair launch for our tokens? How could we create a way that more people could get access to them in a simpler manner without having bots buying up all the liquidity, without having these big, huge price hikes in the assets? And I was actually listening to a podcast late one night after we'd already started the process and we had all of our tokenomics and everything finished. So I was listening to this podcast that was talking about fair launch. And it sort of came to me that we have this proof of stake network, which you can delegate your ADA to, like you guys have your stake pools. And then what normally happens is you get block rewards as a result of that. And so my thought, which at the time I thought was my idea, was that you have this and the company or the protocol keeps the staking rewards, and in exchange for those gives you tokens. So it's a way of distributing your tokens and a way for you to be able to get the block rewards while using the layer 1 blockchain. So I thought this was great. I thought I was brilliant. Then that night I called my partner, CTO, told him all about it. I have this great idea, etc. And he said, yeah, but people on Cardano have been talking about this for like 6 months. This is nothing new. So that kind of deflated me a bit. But then what we found was that nobody had ever done it. There were lots of people that had talked about it, but nobody had actually gone and done it. Yeah. So we weren't the ones that came up with it. So Sundayswap famously sort of talked about it and was planning one. We were the ones that ended up actually doing it. And so we executed it on July 1st. It went infinitely better than we had ever expected that it would. So we raised 100 million ADA in the first 24 hours. And at its peak, at around 2.5 months in, we had 640 million ADA. So we filled up what we had defined as the maximum limit. And then it went for a total of 53 epochs. Last epoch ended on the 6th. And now we're sort of handing all the ADA back, or people are undelegating their ADA. And the project the experiment is over, and we've learned a huge amount from it. We think it's a really super interesting way of going about it. We made lots of mistakes as well, but
inevitably,
it was a fun journey.
That's what you get when you're a pioneer, right? And with something, with a new approach. Your approach was that you set up your own set of stake pools. I think maybe you had 9 or 10 or something. Now we had
12.
Yeah, 12. Okay. Now we've just seen the Sundayswap ISPO, and I think they were using like a slightly different model, because I think they have made a selection of community stake pools to which then people can delegate in order to then receive the tokens, right? So
correct.
So looking back, comparing both types of ISPOs, looking back as a company, what would you do it again, or would you set it up differently, or what did you get out of it?
Well, we didn't have a particular approach when we were developing it in June. So we reached out to a bunch of stake pool operators, but because we were a completely new protocol, no one had ever heard of us. No stake pool operators would deal with us. None of them they wouldn't bet on a new project, because in crypto you have so many rug pulls, and stake pool operators, they live on reputation. So we wanted to work with other stake pool operators, but we weren't given an opportunity to. As a result, we did it ourselves.
I remember that you and I had a little talk, and to tell you the truth, I didn't get it. I didn't get the concept, so my apologies. Because had I got it, I would have joined. But I guess it was so new, I just didn't get my head around it. So.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just the way it is. So I know that we took a lot of flack from stake pool operators because we ended up getting a lot of delegation from other people. And we tried to take that criticism in stride because it was something new. I'm very happy that a lot of the new ISPOs that are coming out are following this new model where they're sort of going out and collaborating with stake pool operators. Because I think it's a healthier way of going about it, because then the good side is beyond just the fact that stake pool operators get to keep their stake. The good side is that from the project's perspective, you're able to work with these stake pool operators. They give you a kind of reputation and they vet you. And then they in turn get some of the tokens that you're going to be distributing. So in general, it's kind of a healthier way of going about it in regards to the community.
Yeah, exactly. So then after the ISPO had been started, it was on its way, and then the news started coming out about partnerships, one of which I was very interested in because it was with correct me if I'm wrong, with a Nigerian telecom company called Tingo.
Yes.
So how is this constructed? What are you what is MELD bringing to the table? What are they bringing to the table, and how does it work?
It's it's less about MELD and more about Cardano. So one of the reasons why we chose Cardano was because it's capital efficient, right? The transaction fees are low. And if you're trying to transfer funds, if you have $1 million and you're transferring it someplace and you're using Ethereum, you know, getting charged $30 or $50 is not a big deal. But if you're trying to charge $30 or $50 and transfer it, then it becomes a big deal, right? Well, if you're spending, you know, 50 cents to transfer that with Cardano, it's a different conversation. So the value proposition and the partnership with Tingo has a lot to do with this capital efficiency, where we can offer this lending and borrowing mechanics to countries in Nigeria, or to communities in Nigeria, where they can borrow smaller amounts. Let's say they have a half a Bitcoin or a quarter of a Bitcoin, they can borrow against that, or they have sort of 1 Ethereum, they can borrow against that, because it's capital efficient.
Smaller amounts.
Yeah, exactly. So they have 10 million mobile subscribers, and they want to offer services to those subscribers. Nigeria is a massive market when it comes to crypto, in particular with regards to Bitcoin. So they're very familiar with it. So it was a kind of a natural sort of marriage, in the sense that they have the subscribers and they want to offer new services. We have the functionality for them to work in DeFi. The other side of it is the fact that the reason why I got into crypto, which is crypto is blind to class or race or sex. It's math, and math doesn't have an opinion. Math doesn't have a perspective or a history. So regardless of whether I live here in Norway, or I'm in Los Angeles, or I'm in Nigeria, I get the same interest rate. I get treated absolutely identically the same to everybody else in the world. That's a big deal.
Yeah, that's completely unique, you know, in the history of banking and finance. After Tingo, you guys have been very busy because you just kept going with other partnerships. Let me tick off a few, and maybe you can also give us like a short insight of what every one of them means. Okay, sure. First one is Maladex.
Maladex, there's a couple of relationships in regards to Maladex. One, they have a very, very strong tech team in regards to how they're setting up their DEX and the type of technologies they're doing and the liquidity pools. So on a base level, we're sharing in regards to our tokens. So we'll support their tokens in our protocol. They'll support our tokens in their protocol. Excuse me. We'll give them access to our liquidity pools and vice versa. But one of the founders is a really brilliant quant. So we're also doing some research work with them on a potential new type of a product, as it's kind of a joint liquidity sort of venture, sometime in the middle of next year.
Right. Interesting. My friends of World Mobile are also on the list. So yeah. How is this constructed?
So World Mobile was the first partnership that we did. And so this goes back to this idea of capital efficiency and being able to use these models in new and innovative ways. World Mobile is going out and trying to expand the Wi-Fi and the mobile network in the last mile in Africa. So they have these pods that are able to broaden out this mesh. These pods have to be purchased by people, preferably the sort of communities where the pods are going to benefit, but they cost a lot of money. So we're working together to figure out new and innovative funding mechanics, not just simply loans, but funding mechanics to be able to offer these kinds of things and make sure that it's not, you know, people here funding them over there, where then all of that capital that is being generated, all that funding is being generated, gets sucked out of the community. So it's kind of a balance. Exactly.
Yeah, because the magic of the World Mobile concept is that the communities can actually earn money, right? Once the pods are set up.
Correct. Each of those pods is a financial instrument, right?
Fantastic. And maybe World Mobile was also the entity that made you put you in contact with Tingo, or was it just collateral effect?
No, it was actually another third party that put us in contact with Tingo, but the two of them knew each other, but we got introduced through other means.
Sideways, okay. Last one on my short list is well the favorite, everybody's baby of the moment, of course, is the Sundayswap.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing with Sundayswap?
So Sundayswap, the things we're working with them on as it goes back to Maladex, where we're going to support their token, they're going to support our token. We're going to share in regards to our liquidity protocols, but we're also building what's called ADAmatic, which is a bridge between Cardano and Polygon.
Oh.
So that makes it possible for us to pull Ethereum and ERC20 tokens across this bridge and Matic across this bridge into Cardano, and the ability to bring ADA over into the Ethereum and Polygon world. So
is this not something that is already being done by other entities or companies like MELD Media, or maybe even the ERC20 converter, or are we talking something else here?
No, this is not an ERC20 converter, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to maintain this capital efficiency. So we're not going to Ethereum, we're going to Polygon. So it's a Polygon Cardano bridge.
Okay,
it's
but Polygon is building on Ethereum, right?
Right, exactly. So, but we're dealing with Polygon fees as opposed to Ethereum fees, gas fees. I think MELD Media, if I'm not mistaken, are working on a Solana Cardano bridge.
All right. Okay. Thanks for correcting me on that. Okay. Well, great to know that you guys are partnering in all directions. But your creativity doesn't end here, because I'm reading that now you also just launched your own NFT collection called MELD Bank Managers.
Yes.
So what is the story here?
So this is in a joint venture with a company called Pistol Digital, which is an NFT project on Cardano and on Solana. And essentially, we had to delay the launch of our token. So we were supposed to launch our token this week. We needed to delay for about 2 months in order to be able to solve some additional issues and to sort of deal with some problems that we needed to deal with on the sort of throughput side. So we have a gap there, and we wanted to make sure that we could do something for the community in this kind of 2-month gap. Yeah, so we wanted to create these NFTs. So everybody that has been a part of the ISPO is eligible to go in and mint one of these NFTs from the website, which will launch in a week or so. They'll mint these NFTs, and then once they've minted them, there will be a series of sort of tasks that they have to go through that will evolve the NFT visually. So the NFT is called the MELD Bank Manager, and it will evolve visually and become more sophisticated and more sophisticated. But in addition to it evolving visually, it also entitles you to a higher yield in the MELD stake pools. So it starts out at 1% and ends up at 5%. So if you evolve your MELD Bank Manager, as a bank manager should, it should produce a higher yield. So when we do launch our token on January 31st, you'll be able to stake your MELD tokens, and you'll be able to stake them for a yield boost on top of the basic yield.
Right. How interesting. By answering this question, you actually took my next question out of my mouth, because I was going to ask about MELD tokens. But have all investors already received their tokens?
No, the tokens have not been minted yet. The Genesis event and the airdrop happen on January 31st.
Right. And as far as tokens being listed on exchanges, do you already have anything in the pipeline there? Or?
Yeah, so we have 6 exchanges we're in the process of onboarding. So we have Bquant, Changely Pro, FMFW, BitTrue, and God, I can never remember the last one. There's another one. It's on, you can go to our Telegram channel, you can find the last one.
Sure.
So we're also talking to 2 other big exchanges, but nothing has been finalized with those 2 negotiations.
Yeah, I guess the big ones usually watch the small ones and see how it's going, and then before they open the floodgates. So.
Exactly.
Right. And then last but not least is that you guys have also participating now in a really cool project, which is like an ecological initiative, right? So,
Yes.
so what is the name of it, and how is that constructed? What does it do?
Yeah, so it's actually a Cardano Foundation project called well, it's a partnership with Veritree. And essentially what it is it's using the Cardano blockchain to be able to validate tree planting. So they're going to have a forest that they're replanting in Kenya called the Cardano Forest. And they started this initiative during the Cardano Summit, and they've currently raised about 500,000 ADA, which will plant 500,000 trees. And so as part of this challenge, the Cardano Foundation and MELD were talking about, the ISPO and these things. And we thought that it would be a good idea to keep the ISPO open one more epoch. Mm-hmm. And any ADA that is going to be generated during that last epoch will be donated to the Veritree project with Cardano that will be able to sort of boost that tree planting process. Mm-hmm. So it's nothing really connected to MELD except for the fact that we're using the ISPO mechanic to be able mm-hmm. to donate to this. So it's much more of a Veritree project, mm-hmm. but we decided to keep it open. Even though we had promised the community we would shut it down, the Cardano Foundation thought that it could be a good idea for us to do that, and it wouldn't sort of upset the community.
I think quite on the contrary, because also the year is coming to an end. It's the holiday season, Christmas is here, and it's wonderful to to end this adventure with this type of initiative. Regarding 2022, because MELD has just been extremely creative, and you keep thinking of new ideas and all the time. So what can we expect in 2022?
2022
Where do you want to take MELD?
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, completely crazy. So 2022, the beginning, we launched the token. Soon after that, we will have crypto to crypto lending. Towards the end of summer, we will have crypto to fiat lending. We have a really, really big announcement that's going to happen in late January, early February around the launch. Mm-hmm. That's connected to a different set of sort of instruments with regards mm-hmm. to MELD. So it's going to be a very, very busy first half of the year until we launch the fiat crypto to fiat lending. Then it'll probably slow down a little bit towards the end of the year.
Well, excellent, Ken. It was great talking to you again. I hope that you'll be keeping me in the loop for any future initiatives. And
absolutely,
happy holidays, and let's make it a fantastic 2022.
Couldn't agree more.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Super. See ya.
See ya.